Good afternoon or morning or whatever it is. These are non-alcoholic beverages, a cross-section of the wonderful amount of things that you can purchase if you're going to quit alcohol like I have done. But today I'm going to be trying this assortment array, this lovely menagerie of interesting and unique, just non-alcoholic drinks taste test. Let's get into it. Now, the way this is going to work, I've come up with an ingenious ranking system from number 10, which means good, Incredible, almost stops the crippling anxiety. That's a little joke. All the way to Pisswasser, which means I'd rather eat fossils. I also, for the end of the video, have a very special beer that I've purchased. I saw an advertisement on Instagram. It's called Impossible. Apparently it's supposed to make you feel like you've had 2 pints of normal strength lager. I don't know, I'm going to try them at the end, 2 in a row, try and chat some pub bollocks and see if it works. We'll find out. Anyway, we're going to start with wines. Now, I'll be perfectly honest, I don't know anything about this wine. It's called Macguigan Zero. It was £4.25 or $5.19. I bought it in Asda because it was on the shelf. So let's give this a go. Why do I always spill? I always spill wine when I was drinking wine, and I put that down to the fact that I was drinking wine. But this is nothing. I haven't had alcohol in 11 days. It smells like it should be wine, but what it tastes like, I keep wanting to drink it though. It tastes like grape juice that's gone off, but not in the wine way. That, on the scale of almost stops the crippling anxiety to Pisswasser, makes me feel a 4. So the white wine gets a 4 out of Incredible. The table, by the way, is just going to get increasingly covered in more non-alcoholic crap, but we've got something here. Again, I know nothing about it. It was £3.20 or $3.91 for you Yanks, and it's called Frère White Zinfandel. I was very partial to our White Zinfandel when I enjoyed my drinking. It was my favourite bottle of wine. A lovely rosé that was just crisp and fresh and lovely to enjoy on a summer's day. A bottle or perhaps 2 of that. Cheers. That's better. That tastes more like a wine. I could almost trick myself into liking that, I think. That is much more like it, and I think on the scale of whatever crap I've come up with, that's a 7. That's a solid 7. That is not quite stopping the crippling anxiety, but it's getting towards it. So I think that's a 7. Now this here is called Bolly. I bought this on Amazon. So this cost me £24.99 on Amazon, which is $30.51. It looks like it's going to be trying to be like a champagne kind of thing, I suppose. Apparently it won a wine competition. It won second in a wine competition in London wine competition. I suppose we'll try and find out. I'm gonna go out on a limb that this is not gonna be anything like champagne in any way, shape or form. But maybe we'll get a good pop, or maybe I'll blow my face off or a hole in my ceiling. We'll have to find out what happens. I am genuinely terrified of this thing. I always hated doing champagne anyway, because I was a clumsy twat. Piss! Okay, so it it did the same thing it does. Champagne does for me every time I try and do it, but I didn't get much of a taste of that. Just look at this, piss wet 3 table. Anyway, it's a good glug. Fizzes up quite nicely. I'm gonna have to. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. If it's not good, it's going down the sink. Looks like champagne. Smells like champagne. Weirdly, it's got that kind of like almost sour kind of smell to it. I don't know how to describe it better. And it tastes like nothing. £29, 30 quid for nothing. It doesn't even taste like fizzy grape, and it's got stuff in it. It's got like floaties in it. Ew. Ew. Oh well, I'm gonna be peeing for weeks. So this bolly, I reckon, is it's 2. No, that's unfair. It's a 1. It tastes of nothing. It's an absolute waste of £30. Don't buy it. Anyway, now that I've made my table wet through and my trousers wet through as well, it's time to move on to spirits. Now, spirits were always my drink of choice. I was particularly fond of Captain Morgan. So if this is bad, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of the bottle and how much money I paid for this. I paid £10 for this bottle, which is significantly cheaper than the alcohol version. That's $12.21 for you following along at home. It's the same. Ooh. Smells like medicine. But then again, so does normal Captain Morgan. Let's try a little bit by itself. Smells like vanilla. Just like vanilla and petrol. It tastes like a syrup you might get in like a Starbucks coffee, is about as far as I can describe it. Oh, that's not very nice, but let's mix it with some high premium quality Freeway Cola from Lidl and see how that stacks up. Put the lid on this because I can just see myself pissing it all over my my spare bedroom floor. I quite liked a strong drink. I liked a shot and a little bit of cola. That was my favourite. So let's see if this is any good or even hits the spot at all. Okay, it's much better mixed. You could convince yourself that you were almost maybe drinking Captain Morgan and Coke. Maybe. Seeing as I could almost convince myself that this was nice, yeah, that might be quite nice in the summer. I'm trying to think, where does it scale on my scale? It does almost stop the crippling. I've not drunk anything. The crippling anxiety. It's better than the rosé. I think that's an 8. I genuinely quite enjoyed that. I'm glad I didn't waste £10 on this enormous bottle of spirit. So this here is Tanqueray Flor de Sevilla alcohol-free gin? But I don't think they can call it gin. So it's alcohol-free stuff. Apparently, bittersweet orange. So that sounds rather nice. I used to enjoy my gins with lemonade. You know, I'd never liked the tonic so much. It was too bitter. It was too difficult to get right, and I couldn't be bothered. And if you were 11 o'clock at night getting another gin, you didn't really want to be screwing around with it. So lemonade tastes good even if you cock up the amount of gin you put in it. Smells quite nice. Smells like oranges. Obviously. Oh, it tastes like gin. I never liked straight up gin. So that's doing its thing, I suppose. Oh. But it tastes like a bad gin. How else can I describe it? It's like, you know, like bowls of potpourri that your mum used to put around, or your grandma, let's be honest at this point, used to put around the house to make it smell lovely. It tastes like drinking that if you steeped it in some vodka. So a little bit of that in there. I don't know how this table is getting wetter. I haven't spilled anything since. It's just moving. I'm smushing it around, I suppose. Bit of high quality Tesco's lemonade that's been sat in the fridge for a bit. Accurate to how I used to drink my gin. Let's have a taste. Bit of a swirl. Looks like liquid. Okay. Mixed with lemonade, that's really good. It's got a little bit of that bitterness left, but with a sweetness of lemonade and just like taking it down, diluting it. These are not for doing shots. Why would you want to do a shot of alcohol-free drink anyway? It makes no sense. Are you that much of an alcoholic that you have to pretend to do shots? I'm not. That's really nice. I'm going to buy some more of that and have that in the summer. That's fantastic. I think even better than the Captain Morgan. The Captain Morgan I gave an 8. This is a 9. This is fantastic. I was really sceptical, to be honest, before coming into this, of alcohol-free spirits. I haven't tried any of these, by the way. And that was really good. I thought this would be pointless, but this is a lot better than the wine, which I thought would be much more... People would be able to do much better, but the white was awful, the bolly was crap, the rosé was okay, but these are fantastic. I might have to try more spirits. And now we move on to the array of beers that I've got. Now I've got quite a few beers. At the end I'm going to be trying this Impossible Brew stuff. I really want to know if it works, because that would be fantastic. It is, well, you'll see, it's expensive. But first, we're going to try the cheapest alcohol-free beer that I could find. It is called Perlenbacher 0.0 from Lidl. So this will run you for 6 bottles of beer, £2.19, which is equal to $2.67, or 36p 44 cents a bottle. If this is good, this is a game changer, because then I don't have to spend any more money, and I don't like spending money. Good hiss, good bubbles coming from it. Means it's carbonated. I don't know. Let's have a taste. Now I used to drink piss water, to be perfectly honest, so this doesn't have to do much to be good. It's not bad. There's an aftertaste of... Have you ever just eaten a tortilla, like a flour tortilla by itself? There's an aftertaste of that, but for, what, 36p a bottle, I'll get over it. That's very good. For the price. Now, nowhere near as good as the gin. That's changed my life, that has. That's fantastic. I absolutely love that. But beer, we've got Lidl. This is, Lidl's Perlenbacher. A solid 6, I think, on the scale. I'd need more than it. I couldn't just drink it, for the rest of my life. But it's a good, solid staple to have. Now next we've got Bud Zero. I don't know if this is supposed to be Budweiser, Bud Light. I assume it's supposed to be Budweiser. The can looks really, really quite lovely, to be honest. I used to drink Budweiser. That was my lager of choice if I could get it. Sounds right, looks right. Smells like nothing, so Budweiser is pretty much Budweiser so far. Tastes a bit sweet, that's weird. And this one is £3 for 4, so it's 75p a can. I think the little Perlenbacher has more flavour, a bit more. It's a bit closer to a beer than this. Yeah. Okay. Budweiser White Monster Edition. 5. Slightly below Lidl. Still pretty good. Better than that white wine though. That was horrible. And that body, I was not even going to bother with that. Next up we have a bottle of Stella. So this is for your vest-wearing, egg-stained cousin who doesn't like his wife and just spends his entire days down the pub. If he wanted to quit drinking, he'd probably have some Stella. I didn't mind Stella. It was fine. It was all right. It had bad connotations, you know. I didn't want to be seen walking around with a Stella. That's not my aesthetic, you know. It's really annoying actually because it doesn't have like a little tear off bit, so you've got to make your own tear off bit and then it looks shit. Oh well, that's not the point. It's how does it taste? Smells. Ooh, that smells like Stella, which I don't know if that's a good thing, to be honest. It tastes like beer. It tastes less sweet than those two, which is actually really nice. It tastes more like actual beer. Now these are, I don't think these are too expensive. There's £3 for 4, so yeah, 75p a bottle, 91 cents a bottle, or $3.66 for 4. It's all right. It's better. It's better than the Budweiser, and the Budweiser is, I believe, yeah, Budweiser the same price. Buy their Stella. I think in that case it means I have to give it a score of 1 above the Stella, 1 above the Stella, 1 above the Bud. Honestly, I've not drunk anything. Yeah, I put it back on par with the Lidl, so that's 6. You keeping total? Yeah, are you keeping track? I'm not. I'm genuinely going to need a piss in a minute, so I need a piss. I'm going to need a cloth. I'm going to need, I don't know, just a bin bag. Next up we have Heineken 0.0. I think they call it 0.0. Okay, it is alcohol-free beer. I thought for a minute I had bought actual Heineken and I was gonna ruin my streak. Can looks nice. Taste it, see what it tastes like. Oh. Has anyone ever licked a Lilo or like a pool ring or a dinghy? It tastes like rubber smells. Does it smell? Oh no, it smells a bit sweaty. I don't know if these descriptions are doing any good at all, but that doesn't taste nice at all. That's a 3. And this is one of the more expensive ones. This is £4.75 or $5.80 for 6. Which is 79p a can or 79 pence a can or 97 cents a can. And that's not good. I've drunk it before and I thought it was alright, but in comparison with the rest of them, that's a 3. That's rubbish. That's not good. There we go. Heineken 3. I feel like I can't drive, which is weird. I haven't had any alcohol at all. I think it's just the vibe. I smell like beer, so I must be pissed. Gassy. Next we've got something a bit different. I've not seen this. I've seen Bud Light Lime, the alcohol version, like a low alcohol, like 2.8, 2.9%. I've seen that in the US, but I've never seen this. This came from Asda. £1.50 per can, $1.83 per can. So it's not cheap, but if it's good, this looks like a nice summer drink. I'm hoping it's good. It smells like if you smell the outside of a lime before cutting into it, which doesn't give me a great amount of hope. Oh, but it does taste nice. That is lovely. Oh, that's really good, that. That's a beautiful, like, summer camping drink. Oh, I'm happy with that. That's possibly my favourite so far. I think on par with the gin. No, on par with Captain Morgan. On par with Captain Morgan. I think I'm going to give that an 8. That's really... I'm going to drink that in my personal time. That is fantastic. That can stay over there. Now here's what I'm not looking forward to. I did not like Carlsberg with alcohol in it. I doubt I'm going to like Carlsberg without alcohol in it. But it is cheap. It is £2.50 for 4. 63p a bottle, which works out $3.05 for 4, which is 76 cents a bottle. Not as cheap as that little stuff, so if it's any worse than that, it's getting a 1, because I don't like Carlsberg. I don't know why I ever drank it in the first... I'll tell you why I drank it, because it was one of the cheapest pints in the pub we used to go to. Cheers. Unoffensive. It doesn't have that sweet taste. I prefer that to alcoholic Carlsberg. It tastes cleaner, so it tastes fresher somehow. That's actually a really good beer. Okay. What are we saying then? I'm going to try and calibrate my scale so it makes at least vaguely some sense. Ooh, I've caught a bottle top on my magnetic pen. So the Stella was okay, the Bud wasn't great, the Heineken was awful, the Bud Lime was fantastic, the Lidl was good. So I think, based on the price differences, it's on par with Lidl. It's slightly better than Lidl, but it's more expensive. So, 6. Fair? Probably not. I don't care. It's my opinion and my goddamn video. I don't know if it comes across on the camera, but why have I got this here? For God's sake, honestly, you absolute pisshead, but not pisshead. I don't know if you can see, I've just got a pile of half-opened drinks on my desk, which I'm going to have to deal with later. I don't want to pour them down the sink, but I don't know how I'm going to keep them. I might just drink more and pretend to be on a bender. It might work, I don't know. Moretti, 0. I have heard from people that this is god awful, so I'm not going to go in with any prejudice, but I'm kind of going in with some prejudice. I like Moretti, the alcoholic version, but I think it might have too much flavour to make sense in a 0 alcohol beer. Bottle looks nice, it looks like a Moretti, but it's kind of emblazoned with 0 all over it, so everyone knows you're drinking a weak and feeble beer. Oh, that is awful. What have you done? Oh, oh. You also managed to pack 7 grams of sugar into this and have it taste so... Have you ever left a beer out overnight and then into the next day and then another night and another day and then taken a swig accidentally? That's what this tastes like. They've managed to make old beer and bottle it and sell it to you for the grand old price of, I think it's expensive, where is it? Moretti. £5 for 4, £1.25 per bottle, which works out as $6.10 for 4, $1.52 a bottle. That's absolute dog shit. 1. No chance of that getting any better than a 1. Ew. made my life difficult by making this table so close to my other desk, but I kind of have no room because I live in England and we have tiny houses with tiny rooms. It's also very warm in here. Next, Asahi. I really liked Asahi back when I was drinking. There was one pub that did it, and you had to make sure there was loads of people in there, otherwise no one was drinking it. And the lines were just full of like nasty. But if plenty of people were drinking it, it was beautiful, beautiful Japanese beer. Is it any good now? 0%. Oh. I just wasn't used to it. I've been drinking the piss water lager and that horrible Moretti stuff. I think left a taste in my mouth. This is really good. It's got like that kind of slight bitter flavour that Asahi has. Normal Asahi. It tastes very much like an actual Asahi. I'm happy with that. That is nice. Not as nice as the Bud Lime. Not as bad as the Carlsberg. That's a 7. I think that's a pretty decent deal. So the scores so far. The beer wasn't doing very good apart from the Bud Lime. The wine, one of them was okay, and the spirits both did very good. Now, there is one company called Impossible, and I've seen their adverts on Instagram all over the place, so I decided to purchase some. They claim that you can get a kind of 1 to 2 pint buzz from drinking a couple of these cans of enhanced lager brewed with social blend. They've got a pale ale and a lager, and I'm going to try both. So the pale ale, I don't know, I wasn't very into pale ale back in the day. Apparently though, it's tropical fruity notes of peach, pineapple and mango with a lasting citrus finish, and the lager is a dry hop refreshing lager with a clean and lingering citrus finish. So they both have a clean and lingering or lasting citrus finish. So I'm going to drink a couple of pints of these. I'm going to have this pale ale first, and we're going to try and see if it relaxes me or does anything at all, because these cost, God, I'm gassy today. Don't drink that amount of beer, alcoholic or otherwise, just in a row. These cost £29.99 for 10, which equates to $36.61 for 10. So it's nearly £3 a can, $3.66 per can. That's not cheap at all. But if it does what it says, which is relax you after a day's work, then it's worth it. Cheers. Try this one. Pale ale tastes quite nice actually. It's got flavour, but it's not got too much flavour. I don't know how better to describe it. It tastes right. Kinda, that's a nice beer. I'll try the lager while it's still cold, because these are going to warm up over the course of me drinking them. That's a nice lager. It's not too sweet. It's not got that kind of weird sugariness to it. That's really good. But now we've got to see this social blend works. So I'm going to go and enjoy some internet surfing, and I'll report back with the results. For you, it'll be a couple of seconds. For me, it'll be, 45 minutes, an hour? I don't know. We'll find out. See you in a minute. Ooh, shit. That wasn't nearly bad. Anyway, so I've had about a can and a half of this Impossible stuff. I had one of the pale ale, and I'm halfway through the lager. I'm skeptical as to whether it's placebo or something else. but I feel just generally more relaxed, more calm, not like impaired or anything. Obviously, it's not got any alcohol in it or anything that does anything psychoactive at all, but I just feel like lights look prettier. And just a kind of like a general sense of it, like if you've had 1 pint of beer or a glass of wine and just the world's a little bit more like, that's nice. So, Imposter Brew tastes good, can looks nice. It seems to do what it says, which is just make you a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more like mellow. 9 out of 10. It's not a perfect 10 because of the price. It is the best non-alcoholic beer I've had by taste. It is the only non-alcoholic beer I've had that does anything. But it does cost £3 a can. 9. That is the best non-alcoholic beer. So there we go. I'm going to keep drinking these. I'm going to keep buying them. I might have to reserve them for weekends if I want to actually save money by not drinking. But anyway, there we go. I don't know if you can see that. We'll find out. If you can see that and I'm zoomed in, or if you're seeing a picture now, then I've failed. But there we go. I quit drinking for a number of reasons. Health. It's not good for you. I wasn't an alcoholic. I wasn't dependent. But I drink, a few pints on a weekend, on a Friday and Saturday night. Pretty standard drinker for like the UK. But it costs so much money. And do you know what? It's one of the reasons I've not been making YouTube videos for the past few years. The only time I really have to do it is on a Saturday and a Sunday. And I never had the drive or the desire to do it after going out to the pub the night before. You'd wake up late and you'd just be a little bit, not terribly hungover, but just groggy and like, can't be bothered. Now, the past 11 days, I've woken up, I've had energy, I've had drive, I've had motivation, I've had ideas, I've done things instead of just kind of sitting there and vegetating. And it's worth it, in my opinion. My small experiment so far of trying not to drink for however long I can. And even over the past couple of weeks, it's got easier and easier every day. The only time that you really feel like you miss it, at least in my experience, is in the evenings when you're like, well, what am I going to do? I'm going to watch telly and drink orange juice. I don't know. But this stuff and all these non-alcoholic beers and wines and spirits and things, they've got a lot better. Back in the day, if you wanted to quit drinking, your mates would tell you you're a wet flannel and tell you to drink a non-alcoholic beer like Foster's or Carlsberg. But nowadays we've got some incredible non-alcoholic drinks for you to choose from. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Smash the like button and mow down the subscribe button or whatever and click the bell. And I shall see you all next time. Bye bye.